It's now time for What's Hot, where we talk about the stories that have us all talking.
We are joined today by Barb Bartlein, the People Pro, plus Jeff Wagner is back. A jury is recommending 3 Milwaukee police officers be charged in the death of Derek Williams. He died in police custody in 2011. Today, an inquest wrapped up after nearly 2 weeks. What do you think about that verdict?
I think it was the only verdict they really could come to on this case. It's not clear whether if aid would have been rendered immediately, whether there would have been a different outcome. Unfortunately, we're never going to know this. This truly is a tragedy. But the issue is, what is the protocol for these situations? What is the written procedure? If there isn't one, there should have been one. And if there is one, was it followed? All the evidence points to a lapse in procedure.
If the police department does admit that this was a learning experience and they want to take something away from this, isn't there an inherent admission there that something wrong happened?
Well, I think everybody would agree that something's wrong here, because you don't want, somebody shouldn't be dying in custody. But I think what the real issue is going to be is there evidence to believe that somebody is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? I don't envy the special prosecutor for his decision.
And they eventually, they did render aid. It was the time lapse that's been called into question here, because Mr. Williams was complaining for a while about not being able to breathe. And
here's what happened. They thought the guy was faking. Right. They thought he was faking, and then they realized that he wasn't, and it ended up being too late. And again, I think everybody would agree that something was wrong. But this verdict says we think there's probable cause to issue charges, and that's fine. The prosecutors, though, are going to have to decide, can I prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt if I actually go to court? And it's going to be a very, very difficult decision. Again, I don't envy John Franke the ultimate decision.
Yeah.
Do you think this will ultimately wind up in front of a jury and they will make the final decision here?
I think it will end up in front of a jury, and I agree with Jeff. The key issue, though, is what kind of protocol, what kind of procedure were they supposed to follow? If they did follow it or followed what they thought it would be, that's one case. If there's some lapses that they did not follow, it's a different story.
Politically, I think John Franke, the special prosecutor, is in a very difficult situation. The family members in certain parts of the community obviously very much want to see charges issued. If he decides he's not going to issue charges, well, he's going to be criticized for that. If he does bring charges, I think it's a difficult prosecution. Again, I don't envy him his decision here.
All right, coming up next, we'll take a look at a lawsuit a homeless man has filed against his parents. Why he says his station in life is their fault, and now he wants them to pay.
Now more of What's Hot.
Again, we are joined by the People Pro, Barb Bartlein, and Jeff Wagner from News Radio 620 WTMJ. He knows nothing about people, Jeff Wagner. A homeless man blaming his parents for his low position in society, and he is now suing them. He
says he didn't get enough love growing up. He points out his 5 brothers and sisters are on public assistance. His solution for his parents to mortgage their home, buy 2 Domino pizza franchises so the entire family will have access to a job.
Or food.
Barb, go ahead.
Yeah, or food.
I'm just going to hand this one straight over to you.
Well, I love this one. I really, really do. Here's this guy trying to blame his childhood as a thinly veiled scheme to shake down his parents for some money. Now, as I often tell my clients, somewhere in your 20s, you need to stop blaming your childhood for everything that goes wrong in your life. Obviously, this man hasn't learned that. But what I really admire here is the energy and creativity he's put into this. I can't help but think that if he put the same kind of energy into getting a job, maybe his life wouldn't be so dismal.
If every kid who had some sort of dysfunctional upbringing was able to bring a lawsuit against mom and dad and blame them for that, well, I tell you, we don't have enough judges. we don't have enough lawyers, to deal those type of things. I do think it's interesting that the guy found some lawyer to go along with this. And look, I'm all in favor of Domino's, but I don't think mom and dad should have to buy the franchise.
You don't sue your parents for problems when you were a kid. You just, for the rest of your life, make the holidays very awkward, and that's your revenge.
And put them in the kitchen.
Wait, let me write this down here. Wait a second.
Topic number 3.
Some airlines in Asia have banned kids under 12 in certain sections. Those areas are described as a heavenly package for those who want peace of mind.
Oh, and what do we think of kid-free zones on airplanes? As one without the little ones at this point
I would
in his
say you
life.
can still hear them.
Not a bad idea.
Well, it's not the hearing them that bothers me. It's when you got the 10-year-old kid who's sitting behind you who's kicking the back of your seat for the entire 3.5-hour flight, and you throw that glance over at mom, and mom just kind of looks the other way. That would be worth a little bit of extra money, but I don't think that people are ready to, I don't think we're ready for that in this country.
I'm ready for it, Jeff, without question. I'm not only ready for that, but I don't think that they should be able to bring kids under 2 on for free and have them seated at their lap where they can kick me the entire flight right next to me. No, I would very much appreciate a kids-free zone. Only one thing worse than traveling with my own children is traveling with somebody else's.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, you know, taking my son on the plane and being surrounded by other moms and kids. It makes it easier because you don't have to worry about the kicking and the annoying and the screaming. You're with people who understand and aren't bothered by it.
Here's what I like about today's show. It's going to be Barb that is going to be getting all the emails, not me this time. So, okay, she's the one that hates your children, everybody.
Just trying to rescue you, Jeff, that's all.
Fair enough.
And and children, when you grow up, don't blame your parents for bringing you on that airplane and making you miserable. We will take a quick